Ooga fucking Ooga cunts, it's Schmeckle. Today's video is aimed at Kristi Winters, and Kristi, I'd like to assure you that I wasn't calling you a cunt just now. That was directed at my audience. Absolutely vile people. I'm talking about this a bit later than I meant to, and I want you to know, Kristi, that it's not that you're not terribly important to me. I've just been busy lately. All things considered, I think this might be a good thing. Everybody has already said every terrible, mean thing that there was to say, which just leaves my bit. I'm going to be very polite in this video, Kristi. There won't be any fisty splinters or brain trusts or any of that bullshit. I'd like to speak calmly with you. Or to you, rather. You've been a naughty girl in my eyes, Kristi. Let's talk about that. But first I need to do the thing. Sorry, Kristi, the thing is important. Won't take but a moment. Roll the shit! Now, Kristi, Dr. Winters, we all know that you have, let's call it an uneasy relationship with Bering and Sargon. They aren't fans of you, and you certainly aren't a fan of theirs. And that's entirely okay. Believe it or not, there are some people who I don't particularly like. That's a part of life. What strikes a lot of us as odd, or maybe I shouldn't speak for others, what strikes me as odd is that you've taken this uneasy relationship, this mutual dislike, much further than most people typically would. I'm not going to pull up the clip because, as I said, I do want to be polite here, but I'm certain that you've seen the musical rendition of the list of your channel's topics. Beyond that, you've recently gone out of your way to get Bering removed from Twitter, and then gone on to brag about having done so. This isn't normal behavior, Kristi. Of course, the argument could be made, and probably has. I apologize, I don't watch the majority of your videos. But the argument could be made that the reason that you've made so many videos about Bering, and that you've endeavored to get Bering removed from Twitter, is this harassment that we've all heard so much about. As Very Nearly Viral recently pointed out, however, you've made more videos about Bering than Bering has about you. You've had many more negative things to say about Bering than Bering has about you. You have been far more aggressive toward Bering than Bering has toward you. If Bering has harassed you, you have certainly harassed Bering. Further, your complaints typically tend to be about the actions of Bering's fans, and not those of Bering himself. If Bering is to be held accountable for the actions of his fans, should you not be held accountable for your own personal actions, Kristi? It's very simple. You're acting like a child. I'm not going to ask your age. My mother taught me that it's impolite to ask that of ladies. But I don't think it's unfair for me to pin you as middle-aged. This is not the behavior of a middle-aged woman, Kristi. This is the behavior of either a child or an invertebrate. I know that you have a spine, Kristi. I've seen you maintain an upright position. So stop acting like a child. Use that spine. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but advice is free. Grow up, Kristi. And that's all I have to say, Kristi. I really do hope that you take my advice, and that maybe I can hear your thoughts on this video. I'd love to see you sometime on the Cuntstream. We run on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 11 p.m. EST. You're welcome anytime. And until then, just so that you remember my advice, I've asked some friends to help me out. I'll let them play us out. Later, Kristi.
Grow up, Kristi.
Come on, Dr. Winters. We all know it's time to grow up.
Grow up, Kristi.
Kristi, grow up.
Grow up, Kristi.
Grow up, Kristi.
Kristi, Dr. Winters, stop. Just stop and grow up.
Grow up, Kristi.
Grow up, Kristi.